Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi, on sign language Elizabeth Nakakoni. Let's take a look at the top stories. Tutu stumbles as Kasaija moves to return the Karamoja iron sheets. Flat iron torture victim pins NUP in a dramatic twist of plot. While Betty Amonge's ministerial position in balance as damning NSSF report is released, and Prime Minister Nabanja wants Entebbe Airport expansion fast-tracked. Hello once again. Vice President Jessica Alupo, also woman member of Parliament Katakwi District, has boosted the work of parish coordinators in Katakwi with 109 bicycles to ease their movement. Now, the event that took place yesterday at Katakwi Boma grounds attracted all the 109 parish coordinators, district officials, development partners from Turkey and Netherlands through their NGOs, Time to Help Netherlands and Nile Humanitarian Development Agency, for being there for the people.
So Kota Yalamini Kesinoi, I've thanked you for the boreholes which you sank across the district when Haki led the team of you and other development partners here in Katakwi, and those boreholes are all operational. So I have told the people here that as your leaders, we shall always be available to you. And the LC5 chairman and the district team, our doors are open for consultation, for collaboration. And Toroma, Ngaria, Musuk is one district. This district has 3 counties and 20 sub-counties and 623 villages, all under me. So wherever you are, when you are resting, you be thinking about 623 villages of one person who is again doing other work of the national duties of the museum, of the government, of the party, so that you can also help me to lift the weight and make the people here smile that even when she's there doing this work, at least we're also covered.
I want to be very honest to you. You have got a gift. Your MP, the Vice President of Uganda, she's a very, very important person. Not even before, not even now. You are talking about a person who is a military officer in Ugandan forces. You are talking about a teacher, a professional, a soldier, everything. But she keeps herself very humble and available for all. She doesn't believe in grades that because you are a professor, you are who. She looks at you who is a human being. So we love her so much, we respect her. Any voice that comes from her to us, we feel humbled. So, Your Excellency, we really like your commitment to your country, to your people, to East Africa, to Africa and the whole world. And to us as Ugandans, still it is a special gift.
Minister for Karamoja, Dr. Mary Goretti Kitutu, and Minister for Finance, Matia Kasaija, have today appeared before the Presidential Affairs Committee of Parliament to answer queries on the Karamoja iron sheets bonanza, whereas the Minister Kasaija told the committee that he has a balance of the iron sheets that he received and he is ready to give them back. Minister Kitutu failed to account.
Appearing before the Presidential Affairs Committee of Parliament was Minister for Finance Matia Kasaija and Minister for Karamoja Mary Goretti Kitutu to answer queries on accountability and value for money for Karamoja support. First were officials for Ministry of Defence, led by Minister Maxon Oboth. They were being questioned on why some of their vehicles were involved in ferrying the items.
The minutes of that meeting would have helped us to debunk the truth behind the alleged request by the UPDF for the relief food items.
Then came Minister for Finance Matia Kasaija to give a breakdown on how the 135 billion supplementary budget that was meant to support the disarmament and provision of agricultural inputs, mainly goats, was spent.
We have evidences for these releases of maize to UPDF.
It's not within our deliveries. We never received those ones, according to our report here.
Having received the iron sheets meant for Karamoja, Matia Kasaija told the committee that although he received the iron sheets, he neither asked for them nor had the idea that they were meant for Karamoja.
Can you prove that this money is not only meant for Karamoja, but also other parts of the country? Because we knew it is meant to feed the people of Karamoja sub-region.
He says his consignment is still intact and is ready to return them.
Now that you are a victim in this circumstance, what is your take as a key minister of this country?
The iron sheets were taken away from the Karamoja allocation. I was not aware of that. Now, if they are really now, particularly now the man which is in my home here in Kampala, I want to return those iron sheets.
Thank you.
The two ministers for Karamoja Affairs, Mary Goretti Kitutu and Agnes Nandutu, also appeared for inquiries. Minister Kitutu was asked to give the performance report on the procurement process, supply of the sickly goats, distribution of iron sheets, list of beneficiaries, and the parishes. The minister is also alleged to have left tons of maize flour meant for distribution to the anger-stricken people in Karamoja rotting, and some delivered to other districts.
I don't think I oversee the distribution of food. So I think he needs to withdraw his statement that the ministers influenced food to go to.
The minister is said to have supplied only 12,000 goats to the beneficiaries in Karamoja during the launch, which she still failed to account for. She has been asked to present a comprehensive report on the procurement and distribution process, list of beneficiary and items distributed, and parishes that benefited. Susan Naonga reporting for ABC TV.
The Inspector General of Police, Martin Zokotho Chola, has rallied sportsmen in uniform to utilize talent to inspire a crime-free society. IGP was officiating at the piping of at least 34 police officers who participated and won prizes in different sports categories in the 2022 sports calendar.
The 34 police personnel awarded by the force participated in Commonwealth Games of July 2022, African Taekwondo, African Mixed Martial Arts in Nairobi, and majority scooped victory.
I therefore congratulate the gallant police sportsmen and women who participated and won various accolades. I take special recognition of ASP Joshua Cheptegei and SP Kiplangat Victor, who won gold medals, and Inspector Shemutai Parish, who scooped a bronze in steeplechase in the year 2022. You have definitely set a very admiring benchmark for the aspiring sports personnel of this country to reach.
The IGP has promoted distinguished serving officers for their outstanding performance exhibited in games.
And of the two, the first one is retired AIGP Andrew Sorweni, ASP Kiwa Fawisto. Kiwa Fawisto has been the man behind the coaching unit and development of athletics, and his exceptional management skills earned him an additional responsibility at the Uganda Athletics Federation.
IGP Ochola has urged sports officers to exploit talent to inspire criminal-free communities.
I therefore implore you to use your talents and popularity to inspire our youths by making them active and lure them from criminality.
The Police Directorate of Sports is challenged with inadequate infrastructure for training.
And the training facilities are very important in terms of development of sports. So it is our considered opinion and request, sir, that is priority number one, which should be considered by the administration.
That facilities are key in the actualization of sports practice and sports performance.
The force is committing to prioritize talent in the subsequent recruitment, as inspired by the gallant men in uniform for raising the country's flag to the international level. Abdul Nasser Lubama for UBC.
Now, the man who was recently paraded before the media by National Unity Platform, NUP, claiming to have been tortured while in detention, has retracted his allegations. Eric Mwesigwa told the media in Kampala this Wednesday that it was a deal organized by NUP leadership to blackmail and demonize government over kidnap and torture by security agencies. Now, this was at a media briefing held at the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs in Mbuya.
Eric Mwesigwa, who was paraded before the media by National Unity Platform President Robert Kyagulanyi at NUP headquarters in Karamoja, has denied that it was security that had tortured him.
Because NUP yalina byensuubiza okumpa byetasobola tuukiriza kuba mbadde mudwa mbadde jembadde nga ndi mu kusafaringa nga mtambere y'okunyigirizibwa.
Mwesigwa claims that the wounds were inflicted on him by the same group after promising him 50 million shillings and a trip to Europe.
Abawaneno twapanga ekintu kino eyantuukira bamuyita King Zali abeera ku gadi ya kibanda.
He says he was lured into the deal by one of King Zali, a bodyguard to Robert Kyagulanyi.
Akolanga bodyguard wa Bobi Wine. Nandukiramu ekintu kyonna nga bwe kindi sigana kukola kuti nego tofaayo togenda wuli ya pain yonna. So bajja ne bakukwata nga obakukwata balina biswe bakukuba no banga tosa wuli ya pain yonna. Ne bakola bakukoze ne bakutochalinga ne bakuswaje bakusudde. Bamalo kusula ne bakujja ne beflat ba government ekusudde ne bakutwala mu ddwaliro lyonna balako kuwa treatment biti byonna mwala ba media bene badde bitambula.
He says NUP abandoned him with wounds without treatment until security provided him medical and psychosocial support for full recovery.
Nti NUP ena drone yayo bwemanya ati kaddu omanyikiddwa oliwo NUP bagamba kaddu milioni zino 5 soko ziteke waka netugenda kwa milioni emirala maika 5 twala tukujja ku stage w'okolera tukutwale tuleme ndenye tugenda okukola tulaye government tugirabise.
The spokesperson on Defense and Veterans Affairs, Brigadier General Felix Kwaija, says these are similar schemes by no party to soil and blackmail government before the public and international community.
Contrary to the torture narrative by NUP, it has since been established that Mr. Mwesigwa Eric was lured into a deal by NUP and the wounds were inflicted on him by the same group after promising him monetary gains and treatment with the sole purpose of maligning government. Unfortunately, NUP abandoned him with his wounds without treatment and pay.
Kwaija says on many occasions the paraded individuals were victims of normal accident paraded to malign government for political gains.
It was later established many of the paraded individuals were victims of normal accidents occasioned by border borders and other incidents. They included, among others, Sebuganda Richard, who lost his hand in a student strike at Makerere University in 2020, and Kamuswaga Moses, who was injured trying to detonate a tear gas canister in 2012. We therefore call upon both the local and international media to always resist lending credence to perpetual noob lies and aimed at maligning government for political gain.
Haruna Mteisasira, UBC.
Now, government has given Works and Transport Ministry up to August 2023 to have the expansion works of Entebbe International Airport completed. This requirement comes as part of preparations for Uganda to host the Non-Allied Movement Summit set for December this year. Prime Minister Robin Nabbanja says over 90 heads of state have confirmed attending the summit, which requires adequate preparation.
I know the major circles in my constituency.
Out of 120 presidents from across the world expected to attend the Non-Allied Movement Summit in Uganda, 90 have confirmed. This underscores the need to put in place more infrastructure for better services. Prime Minister Robin Nabbanja says the construction of the convention center is ongoing.
Is currently at 27%. In Munyonyo, we had a joint venture agreement between the government of Uganda and Mera Investments. We have so far paid, some money to a tune of 86 billion.
According to the Prime Minister, no new motor vehicles will be procured for this purpose. Instead, over 500 vehicles will be mobilized from the government fleet.
These are station wagons. The office of the president has 183. Parliament, there you have 50. Ministry of, ministry, the commission is the Ministry of Works and many others. So we have agreed that we put together all these vehicles and have our people use them. The delegates will come here.
However, she wants more attention paid to the airport expansion works which are currently ongoing. This is because heads of various states are expected to jet in with chartered planes, which will require more parking space.
Suppose all the presidents, 120 presidents come and they all charter in their planes. Do we have a parking space? Do we have that parking space in the country? Yes or no? But Katumba told us we can now conveniently park 100. So we resolved that we needed to prepare.
We need extra space because the neighbors.
We needed to prepare the space for parking those chartered planes.
A lot of economic boost is expected in the Non-Allied Movement Summit, calling for more support.
You know, hosting more than 120 heads of states to the country is very, very crucial. It is advertising our country. It is bringing a big boom to the country in terms of economic development, interconnectivity with the socio-economic developments that we have in this country. So it is going to be a big boost for the country, and therefore we should support it.
The Non-Allied Movement Summit is scheduled to take place in December 2023 in Kampala. Uganda is expected to assume chairmanship of the same for the next 3 years. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development Matiaka Saija has tasked the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited to invest towards capacity building of managing the country's power distribution. Now, this call is inclined on the ending Umeme concession in 2025 for another entity to take on the responsibility. Minister was presiding over the annual general meeting of UEDCL.
The Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited operates under the jurisdiction of 74 road districts. in the year 2022. The company's clients increased from 93,218 in 2021 to 96,969 in 2022, which is 8.5% increase.
After COVID, more customers have been added on the network. But in addition to that, we've improved the way we provide the service, especially the digital platform that had enabled us to have power availability and restoration through our SCADA control system.
The company's revenue also grew to 8.08 billion shillings in the year 2022 from 73.8 billion shillings of 2021.
Making a surplus, income before tax and administration and amortization, which surplus has enabled us to invest in other capital projects.
The Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development has challenged distribution company to establish a competitive business model.
We work to make a profit. We would like to win you off the back of the treasury. Work, the facilities have been given to you. If you think there is need for further investment, let us know. But for sure, you should be able now to start contributing to the treasury by what you do here and earning money.
With the ending Umeme concession, UEDCL is expected to re-strategize to manage power distribution countrywide.
We have invested heavily in technology actually, and we are still investing more, plus sourcing for financing to add value to this country. So when time comes, as decided by Cabinet in 2025, for women to leave, as UEDCL, we're in a position to manage the power distribution business without the population complaining.
UEDCL has commissioned a 3 billion shillings remote power monitoring and control auto switch gear.
Having those monitorings, you can easily tell and that power is not on such and such a location, then you can make a decision from the control center that I can supply this population through this route or this alternative.
Rather than like in the old days, you would have to ring somebody somewhere to come and look at the line. Now that is history. Somebody just has to press a button somewhere and the power is restored.
Despite milestones achieved by UEDCL, vandalism remains a stumbling block in the distribution of power in remote areas. Abdul Nasili Lubwama for UBC.
Now, top NRM party officials have appealed to China to expand their investments in Uganda to cover tourism, coffee and skilling the youth. The leaders made the remarks at the Chinese embassy in Uganda as they met a visiting delegation of Chinese headed by the Vice Minister of International Department of the Central Committee of the Communist Party. Philip Agota has more.
The visiting delegation of the Chinese, who mainly comprised of International Department of the Central Committee of the Communist Party members, arrived in the country on Tuesday. On arrival at Entebbe International Airport, the delegation was received by the NRM National Vice Chairperson for Eastern, Mike Mukula.
To welcome you and your delegation to Uganda. I want to assure you that the relationship between China and Uganda are excellent.
The delegates, led by the Vice Minister of the International Department of the Central Committee of the Communist Party, later met the top NRM officials at the party headquarters in Kampala.
China is a very open country, a very open economy that we have a lot to learn from in terms of fighting poverty, in terms of data and statistics, in terms of ideological nourishment and mentorship. So we learn a lot from China, and so when they come like this, we benefit a lot from them. So
in a meeting at the Chinese embassy in Uganda with the top NRM leaders, they appealed to China to expand their investments to cover tourism, coffee and skilling the youth.
But when we move to another level with the value addition, because as we talk about coffee, the exportation of coffee, we need to improve, we need to export coffee, the processed coffee, because that can earn more, can really help us earn more in terms of what people actually get.
How I wish in the collaboration of your foreign policy, the issue of skilling, affordable financing, and affordable equipment.
Others want China to come out and clarify on the misinformation between China and Africa relations causing negative perception.
There's a misrepresentation of China in Africa, that China is the new bulldozer taking over Africa. Almost as if think that European colonialism was not deterrent to African development. But what I see out of this Congress is that you have respect for African values, modernization, and with respect for African values.
The head of the delegation commended Uganda for the warm welcome and pledged to increase on volumes of imports from Uganda and strengthen ties on talent promotion, tourism and infrastructure. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Following the heavy rains in several areas across the country, farmers have been encouraged to utilize this rainy season by planting quick maturing plants to fight famine. Scientists at Rusid Organic Training Institute in Mityana further advised farmers to insist on using organic fertilizers instead of artificial chemicals.
The rainy season has started in various areas across the country. Farmers have been advised not to lose hope but continue utilizing these rains to begin planting. They have been advised to cultivate quick maturing crops to fight famine.
We should not just wait. We know the rains, it's the time for the rains, you never know. We should start planting. We should encourage farmers that now they start planting to actually use these fast rains. I think then we'll be able to get.
A senior researcher at Rusid Organic Training Institute in Mityana Municipality, Samuel Nyanzi, who was addressing a press conference at the institute, expressed worry over the low turn-up for students joining agricultural institutions from the central region. Nyanzi blamed this to schools' administration of digging as a punishment to learners.
To ask somebody, to punish somebody to go and dig, because digging is not a punishment, digging is a blessing, because that was the job which was given to humankind in the Garden of Eden. So digging is a blessing.
Some of the trainers and students in Rusid Organic Training Institute appealed to government for support with loans as startup capital.
Maybe they have interest in offering agriculture, like giving them loans. Most of the time you hear like they give bursaries to those people in Makerere for.
In the 20th century, youths, boys and girls, were not interested in agricultural activities, not even in trainings. So
Marion Awori and Kasibante Fred for UBC News.
Sent to transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Mobile Money PIN, and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Hey!
Paying your bills the old way.
Let's go. Just need to buy some power.
Paying your bills with the My Airtel app.
Bro, there's a line.
You have the power in your pocket. The power to instantly pay your bills hassle-free. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Oh, you're back.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Multi Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello and welcome back. Now, the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, will have to resign from her job if Parliament adopts the report of the Select Committee of Parliament on the National Social Security Fund. Mwine Mpaka, the committee chair of the Select Committee, asserts that Minister Amongi abused her office by contravening the Anti-Corruption Act after she was found guilty on the controversial 6 billion saga. The report asserts the action of the minister directing NSSF to avail 6 billion to her ministry as illegal and also arbitrary to the NSSF Act. Parliament is to debate the report on NSSF saga on Thursday, 2nd of March.
The long-awaited report of the Select Committee on the state of the affairs at the National Social Security Fund has finally been presented to Parliament. After about 1 month of investigations by a committee led by Mbarara South Member of Parliament Mwine Mpaka, a total of 27 recommendations are likely to be dead meat to the stakeholders behind the mishandling of the savers' funds.
The activities of the Minister of Gender are financed through appropriation under the Public Finance Management Act, and therefore the minister should explain the matters for which such funding was required, which are not funded through appropriation.
In a session chaired by Anita Among, the Speaker of Parliament, the committee report faults Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Betty Amongi on grounds of abuse of office, recommending that she resigns immediately upon adoption of the report. Minister Betty Among put pressure on the management of NSSF to avail 6 billion shillings to the Gender Ministry.
In directing 6 billion to be availed to her ministry amounts to the abuse of office, since the minister, being the supervisor of NSSF without any law empowering her to do so and knowing that the ministry activities are financed through appropriation, did an act which is prejudicial to the savers' funds and the just administration of the NSSF. The actions of the minister are arbitrary and an abuse of office of the duty under the NSSF Act, thereby bringing her conduct within the ambit of the prohibition under Section 11.
The Mwine Mpaka report wants the current NSSF 12th Board of Directors to be dissolved after its failure to ensure that the funds are secure and profitable.
The diversion of 1.8 billion from its intended purpose, as indicated in the budget, to the personal aggrandizement in form of donations by board members, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, and the Chairman of the Board and the unions, Koftu and Notu, is not only a breach of the fiduciary duty imposed under Section 4.3 of the NSSF Act, but also punishable conduct under the Anti-Corruption Act.
Whereas the report directs IGG to carry out a lifestyle audit on the former Managing Director of NSSF, Richard Byarugaba, most of the allegations against Byarugaba were found irrelevant since evidences were not presented by Minister Betty Among. Dr. Sam Lyomochi and Penina Tukamwesiga have also been found as illegal members of the NSSF board since they jumped the right procedures of appointment. The report wants the duo to be recalled with immediate effect.
The committee finds that the conduct of Honorable Moki in soliciting the purchase of his land and yet is a sitting member of the board, conflict of interest, and further gives credence to the allegations that the investment decision of the board are influenced by personal considerations to the expense of the overall objectives of the fund.
Parliament is to debate the report on Thursday, 2nd March 2023, as Speaker Anita Among echoes for justice during the process. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Guitabinji, UBC News.
Leaders of the youth wing of political parties under the Multi-Party Youth Forum have expressed concern on government's decision to merge special interest group secretariats, saying that the move is not in line with aspirations of the people with special interest nature. In a press conference today in Kampala, they urged government to halt the idea with immediate effect.
The issue of the youth, there are very bigger issues which we need to think about widely.
Cabinet
on 22nd of February 2021 took a decision to merge, mainstream and rationalize government agencies, commissions, authorities and public expenditure so as to facilitate efficient and effective service delivery. Leaders of the youth wing of political parties and a multi-party youth forum say merging special interest groups is a move against the young people of Uganda.
First of all, the youth construct 77% of the total population of this country. And that is the largest demographic unit in the country, meaning you cannot bundle such an entity with other entities.
These special interest groups are not even funded fully. They are underfunded. I'm finding a challenge to understand that how are they even affecting the budget of the country.
They urge the government to revise the decision, saying that the move is not in line with aspirations of the people of special interest nature.
Demand that government stops the idea of merger or merging special interest groups, secretariats immediately. Demand that the Ministry of State for Special Interests restarts the conversation in Cabinet on the difference of special interest groups and need of their independence in Cabinet. We demand that the head of state meets youth political leaders of the country and pronounces himself on what government stands to lose by keeping these special interests groups independent.
They add that amalgamation of special interest groups with other groups will complicate youth coordination and programming in the country, thus empowering the president to keenly revise the decision.
This is an intention of the government to unpit the young people of this country.
Feel we are cheated, and we think this shouldn't be the right time to come and tell us that these structures need to be unpacked.
Jane Nyoramchia reporting for UBC.
Sitting tenants on plot 18 Main Street, Jinja City are worried about eviction by one Robert Ochaya, who allegedly bought the property of 5 apartments from government. Tenants decry mistreatment and allege that the circumstances under which the property was sold are unclear. Yet they have not been compensated. Our reporter Ivan Kawa had a chat with a member of the divestiture committee under the custodian board who confirms that the property was rightfully sold off.
The sale of the property on plot 18 Main Street, Jinja City, is raising tension between the sitting tenants and government. Records from the custodian board show that the property was sold at 78,169,633. UBC managed to have access to 2 receipts confirming the transaction that was made in installments on the 21st of March 2017. The document headed Receipt for Rent/Water was used to purchase the property at 38,169,633 and 40 million respectively. Earlier, on the 15th of March 2016, the custodian board confirmed that the property was under its management and had not been allocated to anyone. 3 tenants were occupying this property since the 1990s. Nkaire Susan in 2004 and later Robert Ochaya in 2007, to whom the custodian board sold the property.
We have what they call private equity and public auction. And all those are mandated by the divestiture committee.
So this one was sold under which?
I didn't get those records. It could be better the secretary, who is the manager, custodian manager for the properties and files, to answer that.
So on that specific plot, did you send valuers?
They can, but the file can't go to the board without valuers.
Because the locals claim that they never saw any kind of valuer.
Who tells you?
Those are the locals.
Instead, paperwork.
Did you make any advertisements when you are selling off that property?
We have 2 methods of
Is this part of the 2 methods?
Method 1 is private equity, where we can honor our tenant, who is our tenant, because he has been giving us rent.
And in fact, twali tutaddeyo okusaba
nga naffe we are interested naye kyentegeeza njogera mazima ndi mukyala mulokole batudinayinga abacustodian board waliwo ekijinji bwe kiti nga buli lwe mutuuka babakola bwe bati babagamba don't give them
then we can put in papers.
That's what Mr. Mayanja was saying. Mbukyali muba mu New Vision oba mu what? Mawulire kyaga gekweka. Bagateeka mu lupinyi mu lulimi ffe tutategeera. Omuntu yenna natasobola kulaba search. This property is very sensitive.
Is it true Mr. Chaya was given allocation on part of the apartments on that block? And this is the person government sold to the entire property.
They may have given him, if he applied, they may have given him the allocation. They don't give part, they give full.
Na twewuunya how custodian board nga teze na ku ground newa omuntu ekifo kyonna from A up to D nga ate omuntu alina half naye nemuwa nga naffe tebatubuuziza.
Why is it hard for government to compensate these people?
It's not the government to compensate them.
So who is supposed to compensate them?
They were paying us rent as government. Do they have receipts?
They do have receipts.
To custodian board?
They have receipts with the
custodian board
paying to.
Who?
Kati okusooka yali Shumuku abasolozanga rent. Then from Shumuku, then Gandesha n'atandikiraawo. Naye ate Gandesha bwe yafa when he died. Kati omutabani we bamuyita Sanje Patel n'atekinga over kati ne tubanga gwe tusitwalira rent.
If they were not paying to the custodian board, but that property was under custodian board, then why are you asking whom were they paying money to? If they were supposed to deal with you.
What I'm saying,
yes.
We had our agents some time back.
Yes.
Who are lawyers. When they removed them the contracts, it is our loans officer to do that. Go and get it. But I think they weren't paying us rent.
So now, what is your last parting shot for the tenants residing in that plot? What should they do now?
My question is, they even sued the Ochaya and us to land board, claiming they have a certificate of repossession.
Mkuu Ivan, tetugenda nko mu kooti nabo, tetunabatwala.
In part 4 of the custodian bullies, we look at Patrick Wanume, who was evicted by Trans-Africa Commerce Limited under unclear circumstances. Despite court ordering him to return to the property.
The Emyooga monitoring team has unearthed irregularities in the program among the beneficiaries in Chikube district. This was evidenced as the chairperson of the Buhaguzi constituency, Sacco, was arrested following his failure to pay back the Sacco loan and refusal to respond to warning calls by the district leadership.
The Emyooga program to create opportunities amongst citizens. Some Sacco leaders have been faulted for taking advantage of their office, resulting to loan defaulting on funds meant for Sacco members.
Out of 70 million, they only deposited 200,000. So could go on minister abantu abo baba members batakutunga sente. But we started the team microfinance, my office, the commercial office, to agamba we must halt the account. And it was done, Honourable Minister.
The State Minister for Microfinance, Cheyune Haruna Kasolo, has ordered security agencies to work with him to recover loans without fear or favor, which will consequently aid in curbing loan defaulting.
Milioni musanvu ziza kuba kati ziwera mu 10 nengamba DPC ndinga sinatuukaawo era bane badde sinatuukaawo genda omunonye musangewo era amulina tomulina.
As disbursement of loans to SACCOs commenced in March 2021, John Paul Mugabe, the chairperson of the Mechanics SACCO, received a loan that has mounted to 15 million shillings 2 years later. Mugabe is being investigated for conniving with his secretary and treasury to use SACCO money out of the regulations of the fund.
Yes, nagabane juzi nawa aba ebibogo milioni 5 nazibawo kati abiri mwemu azigabana mutya.
With 2 constituencies, Chikube district received seed capital of 1,120,000,000 shillings. Total loans disbursed are 1,263,060,000 shillings. Savings at 395,356,000 shillings. Loans recovered at 92,244,800 shillings, with share capital 3,890,000 shillings. Wadulo Mark Arnold, Kagoro Joshua, Chikube District.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF. It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
And on business news, building a strong digital economy calls for greater collaboration between the public and private sector in setting up a conducive environment and infrastructure. At the Digital Economy Showcase in Kampala, various stakeholders highlighted the importance of ICTs in creating jobs for youth and enhancing wealth creation.
There is need for designing and delivering digital solutions that affordably address various challenges facing society. This was emphasized at the Digital Economy Showcase in Kampala, organized by the Innovation Village.
These solutions will, for example, help farmers access affordable and quality inputs, credit, insurance, and markets for their produce.
Government is a willing partner in driving the digital economy agenda, says Charles Oleni, the Deputy Executive Director at the National Planning Authority.
Government, as I said earlier, is working towards creating adequate infrastructure coverage in order to be able to drop the cost of internet. There have been many reasons why internet has been expensive, majorly being inadequate access to what you call, there is the bandwidth that has limited the access to internet itself.
Over the years, the Innovation Village has empowered the youth with ICT knowledge through training with the goal of creating jobs and tackling societal problems.
If you ask me, one of the most important things I celebrate in Uganda's startup ecosystem is that now entrepreneurs are seen, they are visible. It's okay for someone to say, I am a technology entrepreneur, I'm building a startup. You know, we have new careers that we're building.
Although there are notable achievements, numerous challenges do exist that hamper the penetration of ICTs, especially in key sectors of the economy, such as agriculture. They include cost of internet, poor infrastructure, and suspicion from the end users.
The adoption rate of technology, hasn't been as much as we had anticipated earlier. Yes, there is a lot of improvements. People are actually getting to learn about technology. There are so many infrastructures in place.
And so far the challenges is the switching from cash to cashless. You have to train people, like you have to do continuous training about the digitizing them from their cash savings groups.
ICT innovations catalyze entirely new industries and other pathways, and thus creating limitless opportunities, crucial in accelerating social and economic development.
And Uganda and Japan have started negotiations geared towards upgrading the Karamoja Dam. This has been stated by the Executive Director UNRA, Alan Kajina, on her tour to establish the state of the Kampala flyover. At the same event, the Vice President of Japan International Cooperation Agency, Dr. Yamada Junichi, has appreciated the work done on the Kampala flyover and road upgrading project.
The rapidly increasing traffic congestion within Kampala has for many years been due to the construction of the city's landmark infrastructure. The Executive Director of Uganda National Roads Authority, Alan Kajina, says the good friendship between the government of Uganda and the government of Japan has enabled the development of infrastructure in Uganda.
We have very good relations with the government of Japan, and JICA has supported other projects in Uganda apart from the Nile Bridge, which was commissioned a few years ago. JICA will also be supporting a road, Yumbe-Ure, to support the refugee area. And we are currently in discussions again with JICA to support underground financing a new Karamoja Bridge. That Karamoja Bridge, as you know, most of you, is fairly old and is due for replacement. So these are some of the other projects which perhaps are not as well known as the Nile Bridge or the flyover that we have engaged and had fruitful relationships. There was another completed project at Nimule that was completed, I think, 2015. That road is now tarmacked all the way to the border with southern Sudan. So we enjoy a good and strong relationship with the government of Japan through infrastructure development.
Vice President of Japan International Cooperation Agency, Dr. Yamada Junichi, appreciated the work done on the Kampala flyover by the road upgrading project.
As Ms. Kajino told that the 80% has been completed for the Lot 1, so I'm very satisfied with that numbers.
The Kampala flyover project plot, which is at 80%, will be completed in this mid-year, as the Executive Director of UNRA explains.
The progress that has been made with the support of the funding, and where we are right now is going to be Lot 2. When we have finished Lot 1, then this Lot 2, which goes right over Oasis Mall to Garden City, and another branch which goes over to Jinja Road. That will be Lot 2. So we are standing in the location of Lot 2. But we've just visited Lot 1, which is, how many percentage? 80% complete.
This project will improve traffic flow within the Greater Kampala by decongesting the central business district.
And the South African Business Summit organized in Pretoria has ended with traders optimistic that a two-day summit will see trade and investment between countries boom.
Recently, the heads of the states of Uganda and South Africa attended the two-day event discussing bilateral trade between the two countries, hoping to strengthen business ties.
Please, Pan-Africanism. Issue number one is to deal with the issue of prosperity. Prosperity through the sale of goods and services.
While addressing the business community, the Executive Director, Uganda Revenue Authority Jackson Musinguzi, promised to come up with policies on taxes levied on commodities.
The side of Uganda Revenue Authority, we have been noticing increasing trade between our two nations. And one of the initiatives we have taken is to sign a mutual recognition agreement with the South African Revenue Authority. It's actually called South African Revenue Services. The importance of this agreement is to increase the facilitation of compliant businesses within our two nations.
The Presidential Advisor for Investment, Odrek Rabogo, is convinced the summit will promote Uganda's home-made products at the world market.
Manufacturing, assembly, and processing. So South Africa has technology, skill, and capital. Uganda has those three, but even more: land and less cost of agricultural production. But Uganda needs to keep its food longer, so refrigeration, we need partnership. Uganda needs to evacuate its fresh fruits and vegetables quickly to South Africa. We need good options: land, air, and sea.
Traders and members of parliament from the two countries who attended are hopeful this will lead to great achievement in trade and investment between the two countries.
Tuzo okulaba ebyabufuzi ki ebiremesezza ffenna okukulaakulana. Bwe tuba nga tubitereezezza amateeka ag'abantu oba aba South Africa abali e Kampala gabakkiriza okukola. Bannayuganda abali wano mu South Africa amateeka agaliwo gabakkiriza okulaba nti no bagenda mu maaso.
Ivan Juko, Wycliffe Mudach for UBC.
Well, and that does it for news tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. Elizabeth Nakakoni on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi, and do look out for Behind the Headlines at 10 o'clock as they discuss OPM and Fresh Spotlight, the GOATs.